The red flags are out in the penultimate round of the 750 Motorcycle Locost Champion 2013. This is what happens to cause the red flags. Look to your left hand side of your screen, there's the contact that put both Mark Robert and Alistair Ecclesfield out of the race. A restart will be conducted. I think like 20 cars should take part in the groups B and C here at Cadwell Park. Just got another replay before we get underway. This is on board with Steve Wells. You can see like Robert Tools on the grass, and then the shunt there with both Alistair Ecclesfield. Both of those out of the race will not take part in this restart. Away we go. A good start from Wells there. We're on board with Jack Coveney then, and it's James McAllister there in the middle. And he's Coveney going to get on the inside of him. We head into Coppice and just spray into Coppice corner here. It's the wettest part of the circuit. Steve Wells to our right. As we turn into Charlie's then. Coveney trying to go right round the outside of Wells. I think he's got that done as they turn into the second part of Charlie's. And this is the one of probably two real slipstreaming opportunities down the park straight. The other one being down the main start finish line. Straight. These conditions, of course, mean slipstreaming less of a factor. Cadwell Park is less of a factor than usual anyway, but in these wet conditions, probably even less so. But still a factor, as you can see here, going round the outside. Who we were going around the outside of there? Jason Gibbons, I think it was. All Coveney duos on the grass on the exit there. Still on the inside is Gibbons. We turn for the right hander at Chris Curb. 30 minute plus one lap. I think we're still going to get, despite the red flag, yes. 13 minutes plus one lap still in store for the Locost then as we head through Gooseneck. And Coveney's had a good lap, hasn't he? He's got himself ahead now of Gibbons. So we head down the hill, down into Mansfield. And another factor is Alistair Garrett. I think if he finishes on the podium in this race, he will become champion as everyone makes their way down into the mountain for the first time. And it is Alistair Garrett there in the race lead. He started on the outside of the front row to go over the top of the mountain. He made a good start on the original start. Done it once again. Stuart Sellers, he's returning to Locost racing this weekend. He was in third. It's contact behind there. Jack Coveney off camera car going towards the barriers. But it was Stuart Sellers who went up on the inside into Hall Bend to go ahead of Tim Neat. So he's up into second place now is Stuart Sellers. In qualifying, in wet conditions this morning, he was only a tenth quicker than Garrett, so he's got a lot of work to do. Because there's a big gap for Garrett. Coveney got it sideways over the top of the mountain, towards the grass, and then contact from Gibbons sent him down the hill into the barriers there and out of the race here at Cadwell Park. So as they crossed the line, it was Garrett that led by 1.1 seconds to Stuart Sellers in third. Tim Neat, he'd already pulled away there, but he's at 6 tenths to Neat. And now they head down towards the mountain this time, and Stuart Sellers really started to put now Alistair Garrett under pressure. He's got good pace. Has Sellers had gone under the yellows, but he can't pass into Hall Bend this time because that car Coveney on the right hand side of the circuit. But Garrett now has Sellers right there, and Garrett can afford to let him through if he wants to clinch the championship in this race. Still in third position, that is Tim Neat and Richard Bradley in fourth. Fifth is Tim Bitter, sixth is Jason Gibbons. Everyone else heads through Hall Bend for the second lap of the race at Cadwell Park. Round 13 of the championship penultimate round as well. Some of the runners towards the back starting to spread out at this early stage. Leaders up across the line. Garrett leads out only by 4 tenths of a second to the number 2 car, Stuart Sellers. And Sellers got the lead now. Stuart Sellers leads. He comes back into the second part of this lap, the twisty section through the mountains and down through the woodland section of Hall Bend and the hairpin barn corner that finished the lap off here. But Sellers really getting away from Garrett. Garrett's trying to find a clear bit of track. He knows the championship can be won in this race. Battle for fourth then, Richard Bradley. We've got Rob Fitter onto the back of him as they turn their way onto Hall Bend. In sixth, Jason Gibbons is just ahead of Steve Wells. Look at this battle for eighth over the top of the mountain. Dave Berry leads this one from James McAllister, Tim Penstone Smith and Dave Boucher behind in that. They turn their way through Hall Bend, and that's a good scrap. Oh, look at that. That was 21. Which is right nut. He was a bit sideways going for Hall Bend there. I think he'd be able to gather that up though. Might maybe started racing this year. Part of the team run by Steve Wells. The team that come over from the Isle of Wight for each round. into the mountain again then for the 4th time, Stuart Sellers, and he's really starting to assert his lead over Alistair Garrett, and they complete the lap last lap. It's actually a 2.5 second lead for Stuart Sellers. What about the battle for 4th then? Bradley and Fitter still together then. Richard Bradley, his son Sam, who races the car every now and again, he's over in Japan working with Mercedes Formula 1 as he has been all season. They're racing in Suzuka this weekend. Well, Richard racing at a very soggy Cadwell Park. He stays there in 4th place ahead of Fitter. He was having one of his better races. The battle for 8th though, there's more of them. Vicky Pickles, I think that is joining in, and Ryan Munn. So there's going to be 6 of them for this 8th position. Led by Berry, bounces up to the 2nd in that group. He has ahead of Penstone Smith, and James McAllister is the driver who's falling back in that gaggle of cars. There's Garrett. Now he's got to watch out because Timney isn't that far behind him. And they crossed the line last time, there was just 3.5 seconds between them. It's roughly been that now though for the last few laps, but still Garrett doesn't want to take it too easy. He doesn't want to end up being further back than he needs to be. So Bradley and Fitter, they turn their way through Hall Bends in 4th and 5th position. That's 10 down to the mountain. It's Dave Berry that is continuing his strong defensive drive here to stay in that 8th position. They go over the top of the mountain then. It's Boucher, Penstone Smith, McAllister, then Pickles with Ryan Munn trying to go around the outside into Hall Bends. He decides against that. So there on screen you see Boucher gets a bit sideways just in front of Tim Penstone Smith. Race leader Stuart Sellers then turns his way into the mountain. His first race all season this is for Sellers, and it's starting to be a bit of a dominant drive after a poor start. Worked his way up to 2nd by the end of the 1st lap. Got into the lead on lap 3 and has just pulled out his advantage. It's over 7 seconds now to Alistair Garrett. He's looking for the championship here in this race. Tim Neat though breathing down his neck. It's only a couple of seconds Neat's behind now. It's a strong drive from Tim Neat. It's a big gap back to 4th and 5th runners, and it's still Bradley ahead of Fitter. Well, Fitter right there though, and Jason Gibbons probably closing them in as well, so could be 3 for 4th before the end of this one. And Steve Wells over the top of the mountain, he comes. He still runs in that 7th position with the number 7 car. This in is it's a lonely race for him. So over top of the mountain now, there's 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th positioned cars. It's Berry ahead of Penstone Smith, then McAllister, Munt just behind Pickles. We've lost David Boucher from that gang of cars. Penultimate time into the mountain then for Stuart Sellers. He's going to head over the top of the mountain. There he goes. And he'll turn his way onto Hall Bends. 2nd position, that's Alistair Garrett, and 3rd, Tim Neat. Just one more lap to go for Garrett before he will be crowned the 2013 Locost champion. Part of a 2nd will be decided between Richard Jenkins and Lee Bankers, who both are in this race. We change with 4th though. Rob Fitter has got himself ahead of Richard Bradley, and Jason Gibbons still running there in 6th. There's Steve Wells over the top of the mountain. At the bottom of the mountain you've got Tim Penstone Smith going around the outside of Dave Berry. Has he got this done? He's got it no to top of the 2nd part of the corner, so Penstone Smith should have got himself then up into 8th place. They've been trying. Dar slides over the top of the mountain, but he is ahead of Berry. So Berry's held that position for the whole race until now. A good move from Penstone Smith around the outside of the mountain. He's got that position. The final time into the mountain then, it is Stuart Sellers who's going to become the he's not going to become 2013 champion. He's going to win his first race of 2013 season. There's a car behind him who's going to win the 2013 Locost championship. Yes, he is still there. Alistair Garrett, then the Probocop Motorsport car, is going to become the 2013 champion. So Garrett, great season for him, been consistent all year, and Tim Neat's dropped a long way back on this last lap. That's a mistake for him, but he holds onto that 3rd position, so nothing too much to worry about. 4th, but that's going to go to Rob Fitter. He got ahead of Richard Bradley, and he's really pulled away from Bradley in the last lap. Bradley's going to come home 5th though. In 6th, that's going to go to Jason Gibbons. He turns his way into Hall Bench for the final time. 7th, Steve Wells. He's had a lonely race. 7th place. Won't be too disappointed with that. What about the battle for 8th? Is it McAllister who's gone to the front? He's got himself ahead of Tim Ponestone Smith then. So where's Dave Berry gone? The person who Peterson Smith loses over the top of the mountains. He can hit the barrier. It's not quite. So McAllister dropped away. That means Ryan Munt now into 9th. He's gained quite a few places in these last couple of laps. So he's going to come home 9th ahead of Pickles in 10th.